Hey again. Today, let's do some yoga from our chair. This is going to be a complete full workout in just a few minutes. Make sure you have a nice sturdy chair. I've got one of these nice ones here, has a little cushy bottom, but make sure that you've got something that's not going to be wobbly, that has a back for when we get to relaxation. I'm also going to recommend having at least part of it on a mat so that it doesn't slide around the floor on you, especially if you've got a slick floor like this. So go ahead and grab your favorite chair, and we're going to go ahead and start sitting when you're ready. So let's come a little forward in our chair, find our sit bones, and we want our knees out from our hips and our ankles, underneath our knees. Another way we can find this is hip distance is about the distance of two of our own fists. Now let's just begin to stack our spine over our hip, shoulders over our hips, relaxing them down. And let's just begin closing our eyes, bringing awareness to our body. And we're going to start with our three-part breath. Inhaling belly, ribs and heart. Exhaling heart, ribs and belly. Noticing how we're feeling. Letting go of any judgments and expectations. And just having fun with this today. Let's begin to add some movement. Inhale, lengthening up tall. Exhale, rounding forward. Inhaling as we come up. Exhaling forward. Let's come back up tall and maybe take our legs a little wide because we're going to move side to side here. Pressing down through our sit bones, lengthening up. And let's go ahead and take it here. A few helicopters. Just warming up by twisting. And let's come back to that hip distance. We're going to go ahead and scoot back in our chair a little bit. We're going to work through our hands and feet. So let's start with a little flexing and pointing at our ankles and wrists. And we may stay right here. If we're feeling it though, let's try some circles. All right, we're going to stand up now, and since we're using our chair, let's make sure it's on the mat. Hands towards the edges, but still on the center of the chair. Shoulders over our wrists, and step back until our feet are under our hips. And let's just do a little cat and cow right here. Coming back to the center, and just a few little push-ups here. Elbows straight back toward our body. And we're going to press back to downward dog. So take a step back, press back through the tailbone, ears between our arms. And we can even rock this side to side. And we're going to go ahead and release our hands down toward our feet or shins. And bring ourselves up to standing. Now let's go ahead from here. I'll move the chair over a little bit. From here, let's just start with some pelvic tilts. Soft bend in the knees, tilting the hips forward and back. Squeezing through our belly. And then we're going to press back a little further. Inhaling up, exhale, sitting the hips back. So we keep our hands at our hips, we can bring them to our heart. And let's come back up to our mountain. So we're going to step back with one foot, and we're going to find warrior one. So just making sure to open ourselves up to the corner of our mat, lengthening up tall. Again, we can reach overhead. If our shoulders prefer it, we can keep hands at our heart. And we're just going to look at our pyramid pose. Let's draw that front leg straight, hands to our chair, pushing back through our tailbone. Let's think about drawing the left hip forward and the right hip back if we've got our right leg forward. And of course, we can go a little deeper if we choose. And let's open up to our triangle. So hand can be at our thigh or in our chair. We can open up, arm to the ceiling or to our hip. But think about stacking the shoulders over top of each other. And let's unwind. And we're going to come back up to warrior one. Let's check in with our balance a little bit. Warrior three, using our chair. And we can always extend one hand or both forward. And we're going to bring this down to our mountain. Let's step our feet wide, hula hoop a moment. Both ways. Let's find warrior two on the other side. So for me, that's left this time, or warrior one rather. And let's straighten that front leg and bring ourselves forward using the chair if we choose. Drawing the left hip back this time and the right hip forward. Taking this as deep as we feel like going. And then finding our triangle. So opening up to the other side. Unwinding. Let's bring it back up. Looking at warrior three again, using our chair, coming forward, maybe extending one or both arms forward. Now let's come back to our mountain. And make sure we're beside our chair. Now if your chair isn't heavy like this, we're going to do our balance next. Push down on the chair, don't kind of grab it or pull on it, push down. And maybe try just one or two fingers instead of the whole hand on the chair. And you might not even need the chair. But let's just find our tree pose today. So hands at our heart or on our chair. We're going to shift our weight over where we can keep our toes down. Or just bring our foot onto our shin. Lengthening up toward the sun. Arms can come up unless we need to keep them here. And let's take this to the other side. Same thing, we're going to shift and lift, toes down or foot on our calf. And let's release from here. We're going to come back and have a seat. That's good. And again, let's sit a little forward. We're going to take our legs wide to start with, pressing out just above our knees, heart coming forward. And then we're going to take a side bend. So resting one arm on our thigh, let's reach for the ceiling. We can even look up, out, or down. And let's take it to the other side. Let's come back to the center one more time, to the center. And we're going to bring our knees back to hip distance. Again, stacking our ankles underneath our knees. Let's come up tall, and we're going to roll our shoulders back, reaching back to hold the back of the chair, opening up our chest, or we might be able to clasp our hands and open up there. Let's find that 3-part breath, inhaling belly, ribs and heart, exhaling heart, ribs and belly. Now let's take a look over one shoulder and the other. Back to the center. All right, we're going to cross one leg over the other, either right here at the ankles and hinge forward. If we have accessibility to it, we'll take it above the knee. And just exhale, coming forward. Using our deep breaths here. And let's sit up tall. And we're going to inhale up, spine long, exhale, coming to one side. See if we can take a look over that back shoulder. Back to the center and release. All right, let's take it to the other side. Crossing at the ankle and bringing it forward or above the knee if we have access to that. Breathing deeply. And let's bring it up. Inhale, nice long spine, other side. Looking over our shoulder as far as we can. And let's come back to the center. We're going to scoot back in our chair so we can feel the back of our chair. And let's go ahead here and just lean back a little bit, but still stay tall. We're going to interlace our hands, reach forward and then up overhead. Some of us may be able to go back a little further. And just checking in with our wrists, let's bring our hands forward. If it feels okay, we're going to press our palms forward. And again, reach overhead. Now let's bring our hands back down, shake it out. And then scoot all the way back. If you have a cushion or something that you can place behind the lower back here, that's always nice. We'll take our feet a little wider than hip distance here for our final relaxation. Relaxing our shoulders, hands in our lap. Let's close our eyes. Finding ourselves breathing normally, releasing our legs, releasing our belly, relaxing our shoulders and arms, staying soft in our face, and just enjoying a few moments of quiet in our day. And let's begin to breathe into our belly. We'll wiggle our fingers and toes. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and tap our thumb to each finger in turn. Let's go the other way, pinky first. And just begin to shake everything out. Let's lift up for a big stretch. Coming forward again in our chair. Another big inhale. One more deep breath, inhaling up, exhaling, hands to our heart. Thank you for joining me again today. Namaste.